Right, good morning everybody. Welcome to a very sunny Silverstone. Yes, it's time for the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup qualifying session live, and we're going to bring you all of the action throughout the day here at what is a glorious, glorious day. Now, I've enlisted the help of a very trusty sidekick today. Here he is, it's Charles Boniface is with us. Charles, pleasure to have you along today. Are you excited for this?
I'm very excited. It's a beautiful sunny day here at Silverstone, not a cloud in the sky, and people are going to go racing, so what more can you want?
I've got a big problem. I did forget my suntan lotion, so that could cause a problem.
I've got some with me in the car, so remind me.
Good man. Now, Charles, just look behind you. What a sight this is. Now, qualifying is probably 6 or 7 minutes or so away, so we thought we'd come down a little bit early, go for a walk and chat with some of the drivers, shall we? Let's grab a good friend of ours, Mr. Morgan Short. He's a race winner as well as this man, isn't he? Morgan, Alton Park, first ever race win. You still buzzing from that?
Yeah, no, really looking forward to this one now. I mean, this track should suit the ZS a bit more than the Metro, but that will also bring in the Tomcats into it. I think there'll be a real, obviously the heat might be an issue for the turbos,
yeah,
but I think there'll be much more in it today than they were at Alton Park.
We're expecting them to go quick in qualifying, aren't we? Of course, later, the two races this afternoon, right in the heat. We are expecting that to kind of blow things up a little bit. But you're going to have Mike Williams probably buzzing around you again?
Yeah, of course, he's really quick. I've got no doubt he'll drag everything out of that Metro and he'll be right on my tail, if not ahead of me. So, you know, I'll do my best. I know this place like the back of my hand. I know this place better than most. I've done 2 24-hour races here and other races.
Well, of course, we were with you a couple of weeks ago for the C1s, weren't you? So, yeah.
Countless laps on the sim as well. So, you know, I would hope that I know this track as well as I can do. So, you know, I may have some sort of advantage, but like I said, the Tomcats will really be into it and Mike will be on my tail or ahead of me as always.
Did you know you're doubly famous this weekend? Because you're actually the headline image on the programme as well, if anybody can see that. Look, there we go. Look at that. Doubly famous.
We've got a new bonnet since that picture.
Oh, yeah.
After a bit of a shunt, but, you know, we finished the race, we won it, and now we've got a new, previously red bonnet. It's now painted black with a different colour green on it.
Nice.
But you know, it does the job. We've fixed up all that was wrong with it, and yeah, we're ready to go again and qualify.
That's what we like to hear. Morgan Short, feeling very pleased. Best of luck, Morgan. Talking of turbos, Charles, here is one of them.
Very
Richard
nice.
Buckley over. Richard, how you doing, mate? Yeah, it's blimey. Right, we're expecting big things from these Tomcats today. Are you confident?
No. It's going to be too hot for these things, I think.
You might be all right for qualifying.
Qualifying probably be okay. Race, I don't know, we'll just see on the temperatures, really.
Could you not just get a massive bag of ice cubes
That's
after each race and just chuck it on? So you are expecting heat to cause a few issues?
I would think it will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, it's luck of the draw, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. See if I can follow him somewhere.
Stick with him.
Yeah,
be all right.
I'll try.
And then just on a straight, boom.
Yeah. We'll give it a go.
Top man, Richard. Now let's go grab a quick chat with Peter Birchall, of course, because another interesting thing. Peter.
Hello mate, how you doing?
I'm very good indeed. Now, I've just been chatting to Richard. He thinks those turbos are going to suffer in this heat. Does that give you guys a bit of an opportunity, do you think?
I'm never going to count my chickens, but it might be nice. Let's be honest.
And you've got to handle Mike Williams' Metro as well still, though.
Yeah, to be fair, I think it's going to be interesting. We haven't been here for a few years. It's a hot day. I think all the cars might suffer a little bit from that. So we'll see how we get on, but it should be a lot of fun.
You've got a switch that says blower on there. I assume that's not air conditioning.
I wish it was. No, it's a demister, but actually everything will be on later, I tell you. And yeah, I'm one of my friends races another championship, and he's put a hard top on his MGF today. Why? I don't know.
Oh my word.
Yeah, but no, it'd be good fun. It'd be good fun, and yeah, nice to get everybody here racing, and there might be a bit of a treat in race one. I just had the coordinator on the phone and the car course. Starting 20 seconds behind us will be some rather nice mini Libras, so they might get in the mix. So hopefully you might get some David and Goliath coverage of little minis all over us like wasps. I think that'd be great fun.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's great. Lovely. Thanks, Peter. Best of luck for the races. Cheers. Thank you. Let's keep moving down. Shall we? We've got Mr. Gill here. We've got Dan Jones over here on the left as well. Mike Williams, we're expecting Mike, a multiple winner in the MG Cup. We're expecting him to go well. Mike, Tell us what I want to know. I think what everybody really wants to know is what was the party like on Friday night?
It was fantastic. I'm glad we weren't racing Saturday, that's all I can say. But of course, yeah, we knew we weren't racing Saturday, so we had a beer more than we normally would, maybe.
Yeah, but that's what we like, though. This is what club racing's about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the
friends
weekend.
Around, having a good time.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah. It's part of the weekend that we come and enjoy. You know, we come here, tip up Friday, we have a few beers on Friday night, and enjoy the racing Saturday, and go out and do our own thing in our cars on Sunday. So.
And now it is Sunday, of course, qualifying about to come
all
up.
serious now.
You're usually at the front of the grid. Are you expecting to be up there?
I'll be there or thereabouts, I think. I've got a big disadvantage here now because I'm going to run out of revs in fifth gear going down Hanger Straight, so I'm vulnerable. I think I'll be more vulnerable in the race because you can obviously keep a time and whatever in qualifying, but if someone passes me on the Hanger Straight, I can only defend it once.
Yeah, it's so
they're
wide,
going to go past,
well?
you know.
Yeah.
It's 17 metres wide down there or something.
Yeah.
So I'll do well to defend that, won't I?
You'll be fine, Mike.
So
I know you.
it is what it is. I'm going to go out and enjoy it like I always do. Hopefully I won't run out of revs, but I'm pretty sure I will because I've done it before, and I've got a lower rev range with this engine this year that they've made me use. So I'm limited to 7,000 revs. It's obviously MGZR engine and gearbox. I don't have the 17-inch wheels of the MGZR. Yeah. So I haven't got that speed. I'll get to about 114, we think, through calculations.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
So,
okay.
I reckon just after the bridge on Hanger Straight, I'll hit the red line.
Yeah, you need corners, don't you?
I
That's
do,
what you
yeah.
Need. You need Cadwell Park, that's what you need. Mike, best of luck, mate.
Thank you
Thanks for
very
chatting to us. Multiple classes here as well. We've got obviously the A class, we have the B class and the C
Ian
class. The C
Bolton,
class.
Ian. If I can talk about Ian.
Yeah, please do.
So I was talking to Ian last
And here
night.
he is.
Hi, mate.
Hello, Ian.
How are you doing?
Very well.
A little birdie told me, Ian, that you had to build this car in 6 weeks after a little mishap at Brands. And
It's not built, it was a track day car.
track day
So we
car
had to
that
convert it.
had to be converted, yeah.
I think you might remember what happened to Brands Hatch. Well, actually, you were quite confused what happened to Brands Hatch.
I was, yeah, yes.
So I went flying into the tyre wall, pretty much flat out, bounced over,
no.
rolled over. So,
Importantly, you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you're back. That's
Yeah,
the most
yeah.
important thing,
a
right?
lot of help from my mechanic Doug, and Pete done me a favour getting me a new crash helmet, new harnesses,
Yeah.
and all the other bits and pieces from new fire extinguisher, gets back on the road.
A few more run-off areas here, though, at Silverstone.
Oh yeah,
Bit
yeah, I'm
right,
not planning on testing the tyre wall again.
That's
you know.
good, man. Ever.
We've done a test. Yeah, tyre testing for years been done, so yeah.
And how did they hold up the walls? All right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good wall.
Did the job?
Yeah. I was more worried about Paul Marshall just standing behind it as I come flying in towards him. But
do you know, I mean, we jest, but it's great to see that you're actually in good spirits about it. And back race, it's just nice to be out in the car, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, I sat at home when you lot were up in the park getting jealous. Well, right, let's get this one on the track. Come out. So it's in Class A, it's not in Class B where I've been for the last few years, so I don't know what I'm going to get out of it. It is literally just a track day car with a safety gear bolted in, so it might be good, it might be rubbish. We'll find out later on.
We certainly will. We'll find out in about 20 minutes as well. Best of luck for qualifying. Checker flags has just fallen, actually. Good morning, you all right?
Good morning.
Checker flag, yeah, checker flag just fallen for the first qualifying session of the day. Now it is time for the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup cars to take to the track very, very shortly. Of course, we're on a GP circuit, Charles, so it does take about half an hour for the slow down laps, doesn't it, for the cars to get back out. We're going to stick down here, we're going to watch them come out. It makes a real sight watching these cars pull out onto the circuit. Then we're going to get into the grandstand for you and run the full commentary throughout this qualifying session as well. It's going to be a cracker. Who's it going to be, Charles? I want to know your prediction because I actually think this is really going to throw up a few curveballs. Is it going to be a turbo? Is it going to be Morgan Shaw? Is it going to be Mike Williams in that Metro? Can the turbos hold out? Or is Peter Birchall going to chuck us surprising? We know he's quick. What do you think?
I think stick with is it Lee Morgan?
It's Morgan Shaw.
Morgan Shaw, sorry. Yeah, I think, you know, after how he performed at Alton, I think he's got a good car underneath him and obviously a talented driver as well. As he said, he knows the circuit very well, so really he sort of boxed himself into a corner. There's nowhere for him to hide, and
I love that.
he has to do well.
Yeah, he's put pressure on himself, only by admitting he did the C1 24-hour race about 2 weeks ago. So
exactly,
he's probably done about 5,000 laps around here this year already. So yeah, he should know his way around. Of course, a little bit quicker in his MGZR there, but yes, certainly a lot of stories going through as well. So Class A, we have Stephen Hyley, Stephen Bryant, John Gill, Steve Tyler, Chris Whitewick, Ian Bolton we just spoke to as well, getting that car ready to be here. Class B, we've got Dan Jones, Matty Maguire, I believe is here, come down from Scotland last night. Jason Burgess, Rod Weston, Bartholomew. Class C, the cars we do expect to be leading the groups out. Peter Birchall, Kaylee Twigger, Matthew Simpson, Richard Buckley, Mike Williams, Dave Harrison, Craig Baston, Nigel Baston and Morgan Shaw. I chatted to the Bastons yesterday, actually. They're on their 5th engine in that car already. Since they got it. It's not been a lucky car, and of course at Alton Park, I think they put about 1 race lap in total for the entire weekend. So fingers crossed the Baston car is going to have a clean weekend here.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Interestingly, again, when I was talking to Ian about his 6-week rebuild, I know the car has been running quite well and tested. As he apparently it was all done in the trip to the Shell garage to grab petrol last night. So that was the test that he put in, and it is road legal. As he said, he's converted it from a track day car into a race car in a short period of time. And is still road legal, which obviously all the cars in Class A are road legal cars with a cage and some braided brake lines, and I believe that's pretty much all Class A is.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic, though, isn't it?
It's that sort of affordable motorsport that keeps the grids and this series being able to be subscribed up to, I think, 32 entries for this season.
It's wonderful, isn't it? It certainly is. And great information there, Charles. If anybody does want to find out more about the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup, you can. There's a link in the body of the text of this broadcast. Just click it and it'll take you straight through to the MG Cup website. And also comment below as well, who do you think is going to get the job done in qualifying? Who's going to be on pole in each of the 3 classes? Charles Boniface, my partner in crime for today, thinks the outright pole is going to go to Morgan Short there on the right. I'm going to back a turbo in this one because I think for qualifying they're going to be okay. I think the races they might overheat, but I think in qualifying I'm going to say, I know Richard Buckley's quick. You're going Morgan Short there on the right. I'm going to go Richard Buckley on the left.
Sounds like
and I used to have a Rover 200.
Right.
Not a Tomcat Turbo, but it was a Rover 200. So similar sort of shape, wasn't a coupe shape.
Yeah.
So I have a bit of an affiliation with them, you know. Well, I have a bit of a love for them. It was my first ever car.
Well, as you know, Ian, some of my own racing, the KAs, we used to run the 8 configuration for our number, so
there you go.
Morgan's got to have us there. Obviously, Alex used to run the 888.
We should have a bit of an ongoing bet on this all day, shouldn't we? If anybody wants to get involved in our little bet, of course we don't. So,
we probably won't be betting money. Probably just sandwiches.
We'll bet cups of coffee.
Yeah, cups of coffee sounds good.
We are just waiting for, I think it was the equipped GTS car, just to finish up their qualifying. That was the first track action of the day here at Silverstone. It's almost time for the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup to roar into life here at Silverstone. We're on the GP circuit. What sort of lap times do you think we're going to be doing, Charles? For the Class C cars, let's go for those.
I'm not too sure, actually. I mean, I think maybe about 2:40.
Yeah,
might be quite
shout.
decent.
Yeah.
Around that sort of time. Without actually driving one myself, I wouldn't be able to tell you or have half an idea of how fast they can go around here. I mean, I can imagine through the corners as well. They're probably still going to be travelling pretty fast. I mean, I would love to be out there driving Maggots, Becks and Chapel.
You would like to be doing it in Mike Williams' Metro, I can tell you that. It is so rapid through the corners, and then of course the turbo is going to come into their own on the straights. As we said, interesting to hear from Mike Williams. I think he's going to sort of top out about 114. And of course it's just interesting, I mean the turbos can probably whiz straight past that, can't they? And of course overtaking, I imagine, never having driven it in race conditions, but I imagine Silverstone a relatively easy track to overtake on.
It is a relatively easy track to overtake on. I myself have only done the international side of it, so Stowe, Vale, all of that side of things. But yeah, Hanger is it's one of those straights that usually you see a lot of snaking, a lot of trains. And it does lead for some good overtaking both into Stowe and all around this circuit, to be honest. With how wide the track is, you can go 2 abreast or even 3 abreast, as we've seen some drivers do in the past. So as they all roll out for qualifying now.
There you go there.
We've got
Let's go all the way. ourselves into position. Just whilst we do, we actually had a catch up with Morgan Short last time we were at Alton Park, just following his race 1 win. So Elaine, if you could just put that video up, and here is Morgan Short after picking up his first ever race win with the MG Cup last time out at Alton Park. Roll VT. You got it done.
Yes, finally.
Looked quite tricky though out there at times.
Unfortunately, we had this incident with this Metro. I seem to think he broke down in front of me coming out of Knickerbrook, and the car at the front.
Is that what the damage was? Yeah, I saw it and I was like, uh-oh.
Me and Mike were having a great race, and he went off up towards Druids. I had a bit of a gap, and then coming out of Knickerbrook, that Metro appeared to have broke down in front of me.
Right.
It just didn't accelerate out the corner at all. I was right behind him, and he wasn't accelerating, and I clouted the back of him. It was obviously quite a big shunt, and Mike got right back on my bumper again, so I thought I'd lost it, and I was screaming at myself, trying to keep it on, and obviously I didn't realise the extent of it. But I was going to say,
is it more cosmetic, or is there a bit of damage underneath the?
It looks fairly cosmetic.
Yeah, it wasn't a big shunt, but it was big enough to do that.
But it was his first win, first overall win.
That's it.
Yeah, well,
first
win,
matters.
first win.
First win.
And you've been very close though, Morgan. So well done, mate. Well deserved.
Mike gave me an absolutely great race. I defended really hard, as hard as I possibly could. We had a bit of an incident where he went off, but it was like at that point we were both so aggressive. It was either I was going to end up off or he was going to end up off.
You two are going to have some great battles this season, aren't you?
So. No, it was really great. Mike was a really great and fair competitor, and he almost got me back towards the end with a bit of an aggressive move. So we gave as good as we got to each other.
Do you know what it's like?
Held up at the end
you know what it's like, Morgan? It's like you're Max Verstappen and he's Lewis Hamilton. That's what it's like.
So those of you in after the grandstand, remember we are still under COVID regulations, so it's important that...
Right, welcome back. A lovely interview there with Morgan Short. Charles, you're a racer yourself, you've done a lot of racing. Do you get nervous when you're sat in that assembly area? What's it like?
It kind of depends, really. It depends on the situation that you're in on that weekend. If you've tested and you're feeling confident, usually you'll be, well, pretty confident. Pretty relaxed, and you'll just be thinking about what you need to do, where you need to brake. Maybe doing a little bit of visualisation of the circuit and what you need to do, and then when it's time, you just go out and do it.
Absolutely. We're seeing the cars coming around now, the first bit of action. We're seeing, of course, they went straight out, so these will be flying laps already. As you can certainly see Mike Williams in the Metro giving it good beans. There's Dave Harrison in 54 coming around, Dan Jones as well. There goes Ian Bolton, unmissable in the yellow MG Class A. Of course, Morgan Short, let me just tell you, you said 240, didn't you, these times? Morgan Short's done a 236.856. He is obviously provisional pole, still a long way to go. Of course, this is, we still have 17 minutes of this qualifying session left to go. There's a Rod Weston Bartholomew just coming through as well. Lovely conditions today, isn't it? But the turbo drivers seem to be very concerned. I mean, surely turbos can handle a bit of heat, can't they? Surely.
Well, they can to a certain extent, but obviously the hotter everything is, the harder not only the turbo has to work, but also the intercooler.
Yeah.
You know, the cooler air is, the more dense it is, and therefore the more bang for your buck you can get by the time it hits the cylinder. So it's not only that, but obviously all the extra pressure and temperature that goes through an engine and goes through a turbo when it's spinning at high RPMs is probably, I think, what they're all a bit concerned about. It's doubly bad for them, I guess, as well, because they'll be running a lot in dirty air if they want a quick lap. I mean, I don't think I'll be too far wrong if I make the prediction or assumption that slipstreaming down Hanger Straight and down the Wellington Straight could be a key to a pole time here. You know, such long straights, slipstreaming could make the difference of that half a second or even maybe half a second.
We saw that yesterday with the minis, and we're going to see it a little bit later today as well. It makes a big difference, doesn't it? Hence the reason they go all out. I mean, a lot of people looking at this thinking, me personally, I thought, well, there's a big empty space now. I could just go out now. I've got the track to myself. I can really focus, I can really get in. But like you said, you want to get tucked up behind somebody, don't you? Coming down the Wellington Straight and the Hanger Straight, of course.
Have the person in front of you be the person to punch the hole in the air, and you can drive through a nice nice gap with less resistance. Look at that, cocking the wheel, cocking the rear wheel as he's turning into the corners there.
He certainly is, isn't he? Morgan Short, the fastest man so far.
Absolutely
He is on it.
Absolutely on it.
What's he going to do this time coming around? Is he going to go even quicker?
That's my prediction here.
Here's Peter Birchall and Richard Buckley. Buckley in fourth, Birchall in third. So these turbos yet to light up. Still plenty of time, of course. This is only the second fine laps. There goes Mike Williams. He'll be right up. He's currently second, but he's 10 seconds off Short at the minute. Short goes quicker. He does a 2:35.964. What can Birchall do? What can Buckley do? Matthew Simpson is always worth a watch out for as well. He's very quick on the podium last time out at Alton Park as well. Let's have a look. Where are we starting to get into now? 2 flying laps start to complete, and it's Richard Buckley who goes second in that black Tomcat. But he's done a 2:42. Mike Williams though has gone second now, 2:37.456. But it's still short as a 1.5 second lead in Class C at the minute. Wonderful stuff. Simpson in third, so the Tomcats starting to fire. There's Baston, number 92. There's Katie Twigger in car 15. Tyler, 47. Maddie Maguire in 23 in Class B coming round.
It's interesting to watch, Ian, that different drivers have different lines for the final turn here at Woodcote. Some opting for a sort of tighter line and just a consistent radius, and some opting for a slightly wider line with a consistent radius, and some opting for going in at that little bit deep, getting the car turned, and then really getting on the power to really open up the straight.
Well, what
and
would
get
you
on the
do
power
here? Would
nice
you
and
take the
early.
wide line in and cut the apex in two, essentially?
I think, to be honest, it sort of depends on the car that you've got. I mean, if you've got a car that can really get on the power quite well and can grip well while turning and everything, and you can get good rotation in the car, you could probably have a pretty decent, consistent radius and get good speed out like that. But I think personally, for a qualifying lap, especially if I was starting a lap here and going out to set up that one lap that I was just about to absolutely nail, I think I would probably go in that little bit deep, open up the corner and get on the power nice and early and really punch a hole down the straight. But that's obviously my own personal preference and views on the matter. I'm sure many drivers have many different styles and they would probably most disagree with me. So.
Well, like you say, it's the impossible question, isn't it? It's personal. There goes Morgan Short again, the fastest man out on the track. 2:35.964 is getting the job done. He's about to finish his third full-lane lap here for qualifying. Still got 12.5 minutes left to go. Still plenty of action.
Fast man doing just what I just said.
There you go, Charles. It's written in the stars,
great
isn't it?
minds, great minds.
You can obviously hear this commentary then in his car, I think.
He's listening to driver tips.
He's certainly got himself a bit of clean air here, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And here comes, oh, look at this. There goes Mike Williams, Buckley and Birchall as well come around. And Williams on a bit of a flyer at the minute, isn't it? Like I said, not the top speed that Williams wants, but he's so quick around the corners in these metros. There's Matthew Simpson as well. Keep an eye out for him. He's very quick. A lot of blue smoke coming out the back of that car, though.
That little red Metro is absolutely flying.
But look at Buckley now. He's got the turbo in that car. He's really starting to close up the gap a bit, wasn't he? Matthew Simpson sounded like he was getting a bit out of sorts, didn't he, coming through there? 3-3 is Wayne Sterling Parker. There's Dave Harrison. There's Dan Jones coming through.
One thing I will say about Morgan's car is it does look very well balanced. Watching him as he turns in, he's got that inside rear wheel lifted.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice, it's not bouncing, it's just got a nice consistent height as he's turning in and round until he gets all back on all fours again. He's not having to fight the car, everything looks very smooth, very under control, and it's actually a pleasure to watch.
It is, isn't it? It's a man and machine at one, shall we say.
Exactly.
So it is Morgan Short's outright pole position as it stands at the minute. Mike Williams in second, Matthew Simpson in third, Buckley in fourth, Birchall in fifth, Jones in sixth, Harrison in seventh, Sterling Parker in eighth, Twigger in ninth. All that's just changed. Paddy Twigger's just jumped up to eighth past Wayne Sterling Parker, who is now in ninth, Tyler in 10th, Bolton in 11th, Baston in 12th, Maguire in 13th, Gill in 14th, Hiley in 15th, and Whitewick in 16th. And there is Whitewick in the little MGF there.
Ah.
I do like an MGF.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, classic. I actually like
Future
I like
classic.
the MGF, and I like a Mitsubishi FTO, sort of similar.
Oh
sort
yeah,
of cars.
yeah. The FTO, I can see the appeal.
In fact, comment below what is your favourite little sports car, shall we say? MGF's got to be up there, isn't it? Comment below. Do tell us what is your favourite. Mine's a Mitsubishi FTO. I'm partial to an MGF.
Little Triumph Sprint?
Triumph Sprint, yeah.
Or a little Spitfire?
Yeah. Not a little, is it, what was that Fiat? Was it Barchetta or something?
Yes, yeah, the little
Fiat
Barchetta.
Remember those?
Would you put a VX220 into that category?
I would, yeah. Yep. Very
That's
quick.
not a bad
If you're gonna drive one on a racetrack, get a VX220. Absolutely rapid.
See what I mean, Ian? See how that wheel's just
mind
up
you, he
and
just
then
kicked the
it's
curb there though and got a bit of air time, I think there.
Well, at least we know he's pushing.
He is certainly pushing. He didn't go faster last time. What can he do this time? And did that little area there just cost him a little bit? Let's wait and see. Here comes Mike Williams, and look at Buckley. He's all over the back. They just can't get away, can they? Now we're starting to see these top cap turbos starting to fire, aren't we? And this is going to make for a great race one, isn't it? Look at Mike Williams' power sliding around in that Metro, isn't he?
The rotation on that car, he must be having a great time in there.
And Matthew Simpson, every time he comes around that little section, makes a whopping grey noise in that Tomcat.
It's interesting as well, some drivers using more curb than others.
I can tell you.
Both on the apex and on the exit coming through this section as well.
I can tell you though, Buckley has now gone third, so short is still your race on provisional pole rather, 235.964. I think he did that on the second lap, so he's on his fifth line lap at the minute. Williams in second at 237.456, and Buckley, we just saw, really getting close to Williams there, 238.071. Katie Twigger just coming into our shot there in another Tomcat. He's got a registration plate that says Dad 1. Of course, Katie Twigger very sadly lost her father, Chris Twigger, earlier this year, and of course, I thought sadly with the Twigger family. I have to say, Chris Twigger, I've got very, very fond memories of him. Always a wonderful host. Every track time, he'd always invite us in for a cup of tea into their motorhome, and absolutely wonderful, wonderful family.
One of the feelings that I got from this series, we're talking to a few of them last night, is that that's part of what the series is all about. Half of it's about the racing, but it's also about the socialising side of things as well. They keep everything nice and friendly and have a lot of socials.
Well, we weren't joking when we were talking to Mike Williams. There was a party on Friday night out in the car park here at Silverstone, and hosted by Mike Williams and Matthew Simpson, and it was wonderful. I think there was about 10 or so people up there just having a barbecue, just having a few drinks, just having a good time, just enjoying themselves, and that's a lot of... it's the on-track action, but it's the social side as well that really makes it. If you're spending an entire weekend at a racetrack, you've got to get on with the people as well, haven't you?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's something that I think you'll find a lot in club racing especially, but it's I think maybe a side of racing that a lot of people spectating don't necessarily get to see.
You see Short's wheel up there, sorry to cut you off there, but
fine.
literally it was going around on 3 wheels there, brilliant stuff. This is going to be a quick lap, this is going to be the fastest lap so far.
This looks tidy. If the rest of the lap is looking like this, it looks tidy. Depending on the cars, we could be getting to a point at some point. I mean, I'm not sure about the tyre compounds that these run, but you might end up getting a bit of overheating at some point if the compound's a bit too soft, especially with the temperatures today. So that could be interesting.
We've got 7 minutes of this qualifying session left to go. If you're, say, Richard Buckley or Matthew Simpson there in one of the Tomcats, might you think about just coming in a bit early there? Just pulling a lap or two in early and just protecting the car ahead of race one, you know?
Well, every driver, I'm sure, that's running the turbos, I'm sure they've invested in some gauges to tell them how hot they're going to get. It'd be maybe a little bit foolish or naive not to.
I think you could be right there, yeah.
Especially for days like today. So I'm sure they're watching those gauges like hawks, and I'm sure if any of them think it's getting a little bit too warm, I think you're right. They might be playing the long game here.
Well, Peter Birchill's cockpit looked like a fighter jet. It was quite incredible, all those switches. Now, I can tell you as well, that was the fastest lap by Morgan Short as well. Only just. He's done a 235.902. But Mike Williams is a man going very quick. The gap between the top two is down to 0.273 of a second. Mike Williams just did a 236.175, so there's not a lot in it at all. Buckley, a 238.071, and Simpson in fourth with a 238.813. Then we've got Birchall in fifth, Jones in sixth, Harrison in seventh, Twigger in eighth, Tyler in ninth, Sterling Parker in 10th, Basin in 11th, Bolton in 12th, Maguire in 13th, Hiley in 14th, Gill in 15th, and Whitewick in 16th in that glorious MGF.
Seems like this is the part of qualifying that the drivers have all got to that point now. They've done a few laps, they're building confidence. and they're just starting to push the limits of what they think they can get away with. And this is when the time should either fall or someone's going to go for a tumble.
Someone's going to make a mistake. Do you know what? I'm going to give commentators curse right now.
Oh, go on.
I was here all day yesterday as well, and we did the BCV8s and we did the minis, and I didn't see one safety car at all yesterday.
You're a brave man.
I am really playing with fate right now. Yeah. And here comes Morgan Short, the man on provisional pole in that lovely black and green Livid 888 MG ZR. Look at it going around there, and what can he do? He's a 235.902. The big question is, it's not necessarily what Morgan Short has to do, it's what can Mike Williams do, because at the minute Morgan Short is on provisional pole position. Mike Williams is in second place. Could Short put himself in a great position to pick up his second ever race win, and back-to-back race wins in the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup. He won race 2 last time out at Alton Park as well in a titanic tussle with that man. Oh! And Mike Williams had to bail out of that one pretty quick, didn't he?
I think he was just caught out there by the slower car in front of him, jumping on the brakes long before he expected it.
Absolutely, and unfortunately that wiped out
the way.
It's wiped out his lap, so he's going to have to get his head down for this one now, and hopefully that hasn't given Whitewick the frighteners either.
Yeah, well, I'm sure his eyes are definitely on stalks if they weren't already.
That wouldn't have happened if I hadn't said I hadn't seen a safety car.
I know.
They would have got through smoothly. That's my fault.
It is.
I take full responsibility. I can tell you Wayne Sterling Parker is coming to the pits, car 333. So Sterling Parker is in the pits. No, it's not. It is a ZR170 in Class B. Similar to Dan Jones's car.
Yeah.
The white one behind there, just coming through, white and blue.
This is it's definitely interesting to see how during qualifying each driver will obviously push and find the limits, to also take data for the race so they know what to expect later on. Obviously the circuit should be a little bit more rubbered in later on, should be a little bit hotter, which depending on the car and tyre compounds you're running can be better or worse for the cars. But it's also the beauty of racing here at Silverstone is that anyone, I was told, anyone on the front 3 rows of the grid has a chance of being right at the front by the time they get to turn 1 here. So, you know, qualifying isn't the be-all and end-all. We're not at Monaco, but it does obviously put you in a very good position if you can break away from the field and
if you've got the pace and you get away
lead
here,
away.
There's a lot of empty air, isn't there? There's a lot of empty space. We see it in qualifying. It's a long lap time. It's as we said before as well, Peter Birchall in the assembly area saying it's the first time we've actually done the Grand Prix circuit for the MG Cup for quite a while. And you know, part of me wonders, and look again, 3 wheels for Morgan Short. Part of me does wonder if, you know, the action might be better on the national circuit, on the slightly shorter one, but.
It's just so composed, that car, isn't it? But no, you could be right, Ian. I mean, if the top 2 get away and break the toe, I mean, this circuit is all important, especially for the cars with not as much straight line speed. It's all important that they get into the toe. So if you can be on the front row of the grid, make a great start and break that 1 or 2 second gap that you need to break the toe, you can drive away. Especially if it means that the drivers behind are in a line of 6 cars and they're all fighting for position. They're going to hold each other up, and if you're one of those 1 or 2 people that have made that brilliant start off the front row, you're sitting in the pound seats because you're pretty much confirming a good result, barring any mechanical or other mishaps.
Well, we were just talking about there a minute or so ago, you're saying now's the time to make your move, isn't it? And I can tell you something, Mike Williams has made his move. Mike Williams just goes fastest, a 235.753. Morgan Short went faster as well, he did a 235.823, but it's now Williams on provisional pole in that red Metro. Mike Williams on provisional pole, 235.753. We are now on the final flying laps as well, so this is it. If Morgan Short's going to snatch back pole position, he's going to have to do it this time round, otherwise Mike Williams is going to be on pole, unless Richard Buckley or Matthew Simpson can pull an absolute blinder out of the bag right at the death here in qualifying. Peter Birchall's in 5th, Dan Jones in 6th, Harrison in 7th, Twigger in 8th, Tyler in 9th, Bolton in 10th, Wayne Stone and Parker in 11th, but in the pits, Baston in 12th, Hiley 13th, Maguire 14th, Gill 15th and Whitewick in 16th. So it's all down to this. And this is what we want. It's a final lap qualifying shootout, Charles. Isn't this exciting? Isn't this exactly what we wanted to see?
This is absolutely brilliant. I mean, the fact that there is literally only 7/100ths of a second dividing these two top drivers, and I mean that's insane. You're talking less than a blink of an eye kind of time now is dividing the top two, and as you rightly say, Ian, it can go either way.
It certainly can. I can tell you the checkered flag has fallen as well, so the cars you're seeing will meet the checkered flag now. So Twigger has finished. He won't go any higher than 7th. Ian Bolton has finished. He won't go higher than 10th. Tyler's over the line. He won't go any faster than 9th place, and this is it.
I think it could be important to note, Ian, that this isn't necessarily the end of
Morgan
qualifying.
Short's pulled it. Morgan Short's coming off.
Let's hope that's not a mechanical failure. Maybe he's just bailed out and he's done enough.
Maybe
he's saving the car.
I mean, there's nothing to choose between them, so that does mean Mike Williams is on pole position, and Mike Williams has decided to call it a day as well. They're both going to come into the pits. Maybe just save the tyres a little bit, I guess.
Save the tyres, save the engine.
I just wonder if Morgan's aware, actually, that Mike has gone. I wonder if did they actually know? Did they know where they are on the grid when they're in the car? Unless they've got a team member talking to them.
If they've got comms, then they might do. But usually in qualifying, you don't know where you are. You go out, you put in a time, you hope it's good enough for a good position, and I mean, most of these drivers will know what a decent time is round here, or sort of the ballpark they need to be aiming for. And with the data loggers that they should have on board, they'll know if they're in the ballpark for a good time or not.
Well, you just know, don't you, when you're driving?
Yeah.
I mean, Morgan will have known when he's pulling away from everybody behind that probably in with a shot here.
And you know, as you go through the lap as well, you know that felt good, that felt clean. You've got a good rotation in the car. You're not sliding about the place. You're not, you know when you're driving a good lap and when you're on a good one. And maybe they've done enough and they don't fancy another tour of this long GP circuit at half race speed, so they've just pulled it in. Not the worst thing to do.
So that is qualifying a done deal. Congratulations to Mike Williams. If we could just pop up the TSL screen so you can have a little look for yourself at the results.
Now, of course, the good thing as well is that this isn't actually the end of qualifying for these cars, because the beauty of one of the things that this championship does offer is a shared car seat, which means that one driver could do one race, one driver can do race two. So I believe we do have one or two shared cars out there.
I'll just get it up for you so you can have a little look.
This is where we're all checking our notes, trying to find and remember who it is. But I do know that there is at least one out there. I believe it is the car of number 92.
Yeah, Craig and Nigel.
Craig and Nigel Basin, I believe the father and son team.
Yep.
And they have the option, basically, is they put their fastest driver in now, and he'll go out and qualify the car for the grid possession for race one, which that driver will do. And the second driver can go out during another qualifying session in another series' qualifying session this morning. He will qualify at the back of the grid, but obviously you have to do 3 laps to qualify. So he'll go out, he'll do his 3 laps, get an eye in for the car and the circuit, start at the back of the grid for race 2.
Yeah.
But what that does offer is it means that he will inevitably get loads more overtaking.
Yeah.
But it also means that they can share an entry fee, so the costs come down, and it's another way that it's a championship that you can enter, and the drivers will share points as well, so they will still hold where they are in the drivers' standings. And it's another way to make motorsport a little bit more affordable for a club level and share out all the hassle of having to work on a car and pay for an entry fee and tyres and everything else.
Wonderful stuff, right, and that is the end of qualifying for the Cherished Vehicle Insurance MG Cup. Congratulations to Mike Williams, but of course Morgan Short and Mike Williams, we're in for a real treat for the opening race of the day. We will of course bring you all the full classifieds and class positions for you ahead of race one. Before we do that, we're going to head off to a break, and the next time you see us, we're going to go for a little paddock walk and get some behind the scenes action. We'll be back live very soon. Thank you.